Dreams of your past, your childhood, your old home, old friends, and old schools. What do they mean? Why do they happen? And are these dreams signs of witchcraft? Let's talk about it. So let's start first with the burning question. Are dreams of old places and people signs that someone may be doing witchcraft to you? And the answer is yes, absolutely. When I reflect back on some of the earliest signs that my so called spiritual mentor was actually working witchcraft against me, there were two types of dreams which were heavy indicators that magic was being done to me. The first one was dreams of eating. The second was having dreams of old schools and old friends that I had not talked to in like 8 or 9 years. Though dreams of the past may seem harmless, they're not harmless. Because within about 2 to 3 years of me having those dreams of my past consistently every single night, I ended up leaving my PhD program and moving back to my hometown, which I swore when I left that I would never move back. And yet somehow, after having those dreams, I was back where I started. So essentially, my life was moving backwards, and my goals and my dreams for my future were being undone. So, the important thing for us to understand is that dreaming of the past is a heavy sign that a sorcerer and or an entity is tampering with your present and your future, because anything that happens in the dream state is going to be reflected back to us in the physical state. So, in order to refuse this type of sorcery and dream warfare, let us go ahead and affirm in the comments below. My future is protected property. My greatest goals shall be made manifest. Ashe, so shall it be. Many people who are generational curse breakers, healers, or who are meant to do major spiritual work on this planet, many times people who have this high destiny and calling are going to have entities assigned to disrupt their life and their future and their progress from a very young age. So let's go ahead and get into the mystery behind the magic as to how this type of dream warfare works. And so the reason why a person will begin to dream of the past when under spiritual warfare is due to trauma and soul fragmentation. These are the two things that makes this type of warfare work. Let me explain. So when a person goes through a traumatic experience, especially while they are young, but even in adulthood, the soul will basically break a piece of itself off, and its essence will remain wherever that trauma was experienced. And so if you experienced something traumatic in your childhood home, neglect, abuse, scapegoating, gaslighting, then a piece of your soul is essentially going to be tethered to those places where you experienced that trauma. And when the soul breaks a piece of itself off due to trauma, this is called soul fragmentation. So having unhealed trauma and soul fragmentation is essentially what makes it easier for witchcraft and entities to infiltrate our spiritual frame and affect the progress of our life. Because soul fragmentation essentially leaves holes and openings in our auric field. Essentially, when a person is dreaming of the past, this means that the fragments of their soul that is stuck in the past has essentially come under possession and attack of a negative entities, because entities are spiritual forces, right? That can move very easily through dimensions and times. And so entities as spiritual forces can detect when pieces of our spirit has been fragmented or left behind in some way. And so the entity will then attach to that past piece of a person's soul. And once they attach to the soul fragments of that person, they want to attach to more and more pieces of the soul. This is why entities also want us not to heal our trauma, because if we heal the trauma, then we take away their food source, right? The entity needs that person to go back to past habits, past places, and past people that they have already outgrown, because that return to past low vibrational timelines is really the only way that it can have full access to the person's soul energy. So, when a person is dreaming consistently of the past, think of it essentially as a literal entity or spirit pulling the soul backwards every time that the person sleeps. So, the silver lining in all of this is that if you are dreaming of childhood traumas, places, people, and situations from your childhood, this is actually your opportunity and your call to rescue your soul fragments, reclaim your future, and change the narrative of your life. So, the remedy to this type of spiritual warfare, dream warfare, is actually going to be soul integration work, reclaiming and calling back in the pieces of your soul, which can be done in the dream state for my people who are lucid dreamers and for my people who are practicing the art of lucid dreaming and astral traveling. This can actually be done in the dream state. And we become better lucid dreamers and better astral travelers by taking our dreams seriously. We should have dream journals. We should be writing down our dreams. And we should be going to sleep with a mission, essentially, every single night. You can also do this in the waking state through journaling, through meditation, through energy healing work, especially sound baths, especially Reiki. But the main idea is that you must create a safe space for your soul fragments to come back into you. Of course, you can call your soul fragments back into you through prayer as well. And just FYI, everybody, I am working on a really, really powerful prayer book that will be available very, very soon, within about 2 weeks or less. And so, soul integration work is about releasing and healing whatever traumatic experiences keep us bound to the past, spiritually or mentally, right? It's about giving ourselves permission to have a future free of the wounds and the traumas that we have experienced. If you need further understanding of how to perform soul integration work, or if you need soul integration work done for you, this is where I'd highly recommend you book an energy healing session with me or with someone that you trust. I'd also highly suggest joining the Patreon, because that is where we talk about deep spiritual topics like this, and we also practice what we learn in workshop. If you are going through a vexing spiritual situation that you feel called to receive more guidance about, I'd be happy to help you to the best of my ability if you feel called to book a one-on-one reading or session with me. May peace, wholeness, and healing be upon every viewer of this video who wishes peace, whole, and wellness upon me. Ashe, I'll see you at the next video.